Welcome back to Anime News Update. We've kind of got a lot this week. Anime studio Mangolbe shuts down, live-action Blade of the Immortal movie, live-action Tiger and Bunny movie, and another new anime Black Butler movie. Not kidding, all three of those were announced in the same week. Let's jump right in. But since I always aim to disappoint, let's start with some bad news. Studio Mangolbe has closed its doors and will no longer be producing new shows. And honestly, this is kind of a tragedy. You see, back in 2002, two Sunrise producers formed their own studio, and after an odd experiment, they made the anachronistic hunt for the samurai that smells of sunflowers, Samurai Champloo.
Are you at peace with yourself?
Every freaking day I have to ask myself, will this day be the last day I lie in the sun?
Which at the time I'd call a stylistically groundbreaking anime, headed by one of my favorite directors, Shintaro Watanabe. And then not even 2 years later, Mangolbe produced the dark and unforgettable Ergo Proxy. I'll be the first to admit I haven't seen all of this company's surprisingly vast catalog, but with shows like Michiko and Hachin, House of Five Leaves, The World Only God Knows, and even this season's past Gangsta, really their passing is kind of a heavy loss. With some exceptions, Mangolbe tended to lean more towards the stylistically edgy side of storytelling, mostly focusing on character-driven arcs and deeper themes.
Hey! Look, there's a naked woman over there!
Huh?
I need to organize my clips better.
I want my nookie!
I really can't cement how bad this is. After all, most of us are still complaining about how they never got to finish making Dead Man Wonderland. And that was 4 years ago.
Please, not like this.
The real tragedy? There's no story here. No tale of heroic defeat or some villainous producer. Mangolbe had to close its doors due to having its debt grow too large, and they went bankrupt. I wouldn't call them one of my favorite studios, but Mangolbe was great, and they'll be sorely missed. I don't have a clever segue this time. I'm really sorry to see these guys go.
Immortal.
Hiromaki Samura's Blade of the Immortal manga will be getting a live-action adaptation in 2017. It's a somewhat famous manga, but since it's been out of the limelight for such a long time, here's your primer. The samurai Manji, conveniently named after the symbol on his back, and no, it's not a swastika, do a Google search, we're not getting into it, is an unstoppable killing machine who may be better known as Manji of the 100 Kills. And just his luck, 2 of those kills were his brother-in-law and his master, who may have exaggerated about how innocent the other 98 people he turned into a fine red mist were.
So, what did you do next?
And not just my master Hori. From policemen to detectives, as well as the bounty hunters.
Wanting nothing more than to die, Manji can't. Given the gift of immortality by an 800-year-old woman with symbiotic worms that instantly repair any damage to his body, no matter how bloody, means seppuku's kind of off the table. So to redeem himself, and give us a plot, Manji decides to slay 1,000 villains to make up for the 100 kills. A fairly basic story admittedly, but it has some pretty strong elements that won it some awards. The director will be Takeshi Miki, a pretty controversial filmmaker who has over 90 movies under his belt. But as for his more famous stuff, let's just say I'm having a hard time finding clips I can show you. Miki's best known for his violent and bizarre style of storytelling, including a lot of martial arts and psychological thrillers. He's kind of known for pushing the limits in his movies just a bit. Let me put it this way, Miki's no stranger to adapting manga into movies, like with one of his films, Ichi the Killer, where the DVD literally comes in a blood pack. The first screening of the movie was so over the top they handed out Ichi the Killer branded barf bags. And if reports are true, apparently some of them were used. If you want blood and gore, this will be for you. As for me, I'm a fan of Blade of the Immortal and how dark the story is, but I think even I might pass. Ooh. At New York Comic Con, Bandai Namco announced they'll be making a live-action Hollywood adaptation of Tiger and Bunny with Ron Howard as producer. This is absolutely crazy for tons of reasons. Namco Bandai isn't selling the rights to have the movie made. They're footing the bill and having Ron Howard's production company oversee it, and they're looking for a director right now. This means that unlike, let's say, every anime Hollywood adaptation that's been run through the grinder and turned into something like, let's say, goddamn Dragon Ball Evolution,
First rule is, there are no rules.
This movie will be tied to and controlled by the original company, unlike every other nightmare we've sat through so far. Also, unlike movies like Akira, Tiger and Bunny's already based on American superhero lore, but with a twist. All of the heroes are sponsored by companies like Pepsi and Amazon to fight crime and are followed around by a TV crew broadcasting them taking down bad guys. Because just like in real life right now, people are fascinated by superheroes, and said heroes have to pay rent.
Saving the lives of innocent people comes first.
You break it, you buy it.
Oh.
The supporting cast is also amazing with characters like Blue Rose, who started fighting crime because it was the only way her record label would let her on stage, and Fire Emblem, an openly gay pyrokinetic who doesn't need a sponsor since he runs his own damn high-level company.
But your crime is...
Oh, balls, I'm right.
Hey!
I'm so excited for this. Let's just not screw it up and have Japanese studios funding their own Hollywood movies be the new trend. Can we? Please?
I am simply one hell of a butler.
And last, announced via Twitter and secretive project website that tells us absolutely nothing for months because that's how modern anime do, Black Butler will be getting a new theatrical movie, and we know nothing else about it. And at this point, there's very little Yana Tobaso's manga hasn't been adapted into. Let's see. The book's been running since 2006, there's the first anime, the god-awful follow-up made to undo the perfect ending of the first show, a live-action movie set in the far-off year of 2020, don't ask. Another 10-episode anime, and about 10 other OVAs. The sad thing is, I'll watch it as soon as it comes out. I haven't touched most stuff outside the anime, but Yana's manga is so impossibly good, I'll read anything with her name on it. The way things are, there's about 2 main stories in the manga that haven't been adapted yet, and those involve a cult of werewolves using biological weapons, and the Titanic being taken over by blindfolded rage zombies. Let's go with one of those, Square Enix. When you try and do your own thing, you tend to be terrible at it. Looking at you, Black Butler 2.
What does he think he's on about, putting his grubby fingers all over my dinner?
Sorry this episode took so long to get out. We pretty much had an entire month of no news worth even reporting on. But hey, if you want to watch more anime news update, go ahead and click that subscribe button. And if you want to hear me talk about the upcoming Fooly Cooly remake, or get really angry about an Evangelion vegetable juice ad, go ahead and click that annotation. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go rewatch Tiger and Bunny and most likely spend my food budget on related figures. Catch you next time.